Hi, my name is Brandy Cruther, and I would like to welcome you to Fit, Boston, and Beyond. And I'm really excited. I have two great special guests, and I'm going to tell you one reason why I'm excited. There is nothing like coming from the neighborhood and being able to celebrate people that you know from the neighborhood. So I just have to send a shout out about that and be able to say that. So I got some good news for y'all. I've never ran the Boston Marathon. I have no idea what it feels like to train on that level. You know, I played D1 basketball, but that's a little different. So I'm going to introduce my special guests who have really inspired the community from, I should say, Roxbury all the way up to Mattapan and beyond. They have a lot of people thinking about running and getting in shape and also achieving a goal of running the Boston Marathon. I'd like to welcome my special guests tonight, Rochelle Solomon and Katana Burke. Let me give them a round of applause for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm really excited to have you. Well, Rochelle, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where you're from?
Okay, so I'm gonna make it succinct. So I'm an Afro-Caribbean American.
Okay.
So I live with polycystic ovaries, PCOS. So I kind of made the commitment to be physically active because diabetes and cardiovascular disease is not something I want, and it runs in my family, and PCOS predisposes you to that.
And Katana, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background?
Yes. Hi, my name is Katana Burke, and I am a marathoner.
I love it. I love it. Well, I want to ask both of you, what made you choose to get into fitness? So, Rochelle, you could go first.
So I had love handles, and at 20-something, my mom told me, hey, you need to go work out. So that's when I joined Body by Brandy.
Okay.
So ever since then, I've been kind of, working out in the gym and just doing different things along the lines of fitness.
Okay. And Tanya, what about you?
Well, I like yourself, I played college basketball. Never saw
myself show me that shot. Show me that shot. That's what I'm talking about.
With that follicle, baby.
Catch it.
So I never saw myself running a marathon. By no means. Like I said, I went to school, played college basketball, and I turned 40, and it was just like, you know what? What now? What else am I going to do? What else am I going to get myself into? And I love setting goals for myself that I have to achieve them. I just have to.
So what made you think about running, Tanya?
I've always been in the fitness scene. I love pumping iron. Check out my biceps. So it's just like, you know what? We were in class one time, and it was this young lady, and then I kept teasing her before class. I said, let's go for a walk and warm up before class. It was a kickboxing class. And I said, why don't you come on? Let's go warm up before class. Let's go on. She said, you know what? I need to introduce you to my ambassador. And at the time, I was just like, okay, so who's this ambassador? Ambassador for what? Like, what is that all about? So that's when I got introduced to Black Girls Run Boston.
And Rochelle, what about you?
So I got it. I've always wanted to run, and it took a breakup for me to decide, like, I'm not coming home to that couch. I'm going to download a Couch to 5K app, and I'm going to go out there and get running. So that was like my first foray or my first start to running. And I kind of did a few adventure runs because I like the playground, climbing over things and stuff. So I did a lot of that before I actually started and met people from Black Girls Run.
I want to do a reverse for a minute, especially in the time when we're talking about COVID and just overall mental wellness. You said something very deep, and you talked about you had a breakup, and instead of you doing something negative like eating and drinking, you added something positive to your lifestyle. I really want to salute you because a lot of us have gone through breakups. A lot of us have gone through changes in our lives, and you took something that could be detrimental and turned it into something lifestyle. So how did you feel about that?
Well, just the idea of coming, I was so used to doing stuff with this person that I don't want to come home and just sit. So at least like the training program had me outside walking before I started to run. So it kind of opened up a lot of different avenues for me. Like I got out in my neighborhood. I learned I love nature, I love being outside. So it was like a door opener for a lot of things to come.
Well, I loved it. That's why I wanted to have everyone else hear you say that again, because it's so inspiring. Now, it's different running in your neighborhood and then running in someone else's neighborhood preparing for the Boston Marathon. So tell me, what made you run the Boston Marathon? Because 26 miles, that's a lot. So you can tell me, Rochelle, what wrapped your mind around 26 miles?
So I had a deja vu experience. And I was just like, what did I sign up for? No, that's impossible. That couldn't possibly be. But I didn't quite draw the connections until I actually went on GMA to with Black Girls Run New York. And they were profiling one of their members, the fat running chef. She was doing the New York Marathon. So I got to hang out with the BGR sisters in New York and I got motivated. So I came back. I spoke to Gail Henville, a running coach in Boston. I told her I wanted to run. I brought my notepad and I brought it and I took notes because I was like, I want to do this. Yes, I want to do this. So I took notes. And then there was an organization that BGR volunteers with called Soul Train. And then I called up Jess from Soul Train and told her I want to run because I wanted to run the marathon and I knew charity running would be what I would be doing, but I wanted to run it to raise money for the kids. And that's what I wanted to do.
And I want to talk about that because you say something that's really positive. In running for yourself, something you wanted to do, when you run the Boston Marathon, let people know that they're able to fundraise for a cause. Could you explain that a little more?
Right. So you qualify, you BQ or Boston qualify based on qualifying races. And that means you would just send your money to the BAA around marathon registration time. And that's one way to qualify. But another way to qualify is to identify a program. So DEMIC has a charity team. Trinity Boston Connects have a charity team. The Y has a charity team. So when you sign on to be part of the charity team, you have a goal of funds to raise. So you will do like fundraising activities to raise your goal. And then you get to run on the behalf of that organization that you signed up for.
And let me ask you guys another question, which is really important. Tanya, what was it like physically to train for the Boston Marathon? Because you already know shooting balls a little different, crossing over is a little different. Yes. What was that really like to get ready for that?
So I had my only experience with running was in high school, and in high school I did track and field events. I did a shot and disc. I did a little bit of 4x100 relays in there, but never any cross country. So once this was like, okay, and I always said to myself, once I entered the arena of running, I actually said, if I'm ever going to do a marathon, it has to be in my hometown and it has to be Boston. Like it has to be Boston.
Right.
Right. So, and I was very fortunate to partner alongside Rochelle because we're both BGR members and we became friends. And it was just like, okay, Rochelle, we're going to do this. You got my back. Like I was still on the fence up until the last day. I was like, Rochelle, you got me, right? You got me. We together, right? So Rochelle was the one who really actually gave me that final push to say, yeah, girl, you could do it. You can do it. So it was that confidence, that final push that Rochelle, and then it was just like, I was already in the fitness scene. So I already had a coach, but I needed to ask the final question. Would you coach me through this marathon? Because he's a performance coach, Coach Yvel. Coach Yvel Joseph he
was on the show recently talking about how he trains people.
Oh, he's an amazing coach. He is amazing. He's a mindfulness coach also. So it was not only was the mental, the physical, but the spiritual as well. So it was just a combination of everything, and he brought it all. And when you're out there in that pavement, it's just you need all three aspects to push you through. You really do. and they all play their own individual roles.
Well, we're going to take a small break and come right back because I still have a lot of questions for you. Okay, so you be still, and we're going to be right back. We are back, and all runners got to take a break. So with that being said, I'm always challenged. You know, I love it. I wanted to change the screen to give everybody just a different look of us as well. So Rochelle, I didn't get to ask you, how did you feel physically?
Oh, during the training process?
Yeah. What was it like?
Well, okay. So prior to the training process, my coach Gail, I did have the opportunity to go to the BAA. Or BAA is the Boston Athletic Association. They're the group that puts on the marathon. So I had the opportunity to go to a Christmas party. And at that Christmas party, I was there with my coach also. Katana was there and some other folks were there. And what I got to do was my coach talked me through the route, because they had the route on a television prompter, and just talking about the experiences. Oh, that's Kenmore Square, this, that, and the other. And then I got to speak to another person. She's she's a Native American runner, Patty Dillon. So, and they basically reinforced that this was not going to be all bells and whistles. There was going to be some suck in it. So suck means pain, days where you don't want to do it, but you had to home into something bigger. And if it was those kids that I was raising money for, I had to home into those like cues when I was doing those long runs, just like to embrace the suck and keep going.
Well, I want to ask one question, because we speak of physical fitness. There's two things. Tanya, you talked about the mental aspect of training. Share some of that with us right now. What is that like?
Just to piggyback off of what Rochelle said, those long runs, like I said, I never see myself as a long distance runner. I never picture myself out doing these. I mean, you get up and you look at your training plan and you got a 15-mile run. 15 miles. Like, you're not asking nobody to come out and run 15 miles with you, because ain't nobody gonna show up. So you have to kind of play these tricks on yourself. And I work early morning. So I'm used to being up at odd hours. So not only do I have to work an 8-hour shift from 3 to 11:30 in the morning, I got to go out in the middle of summer, in the middle of the afternoon. Luckily, training started in December, so the temperature, the daylight, and the weather worked a little bit in my favor. And we had like a minimum winter on 2020.
Right.
So it was like, it worked out and kind of in my favor. So to know that I would start doing my runs from home. So I would go out 8 miles, turn around and come back 7 on the 15 mile. And then, it's 7 and you have a recovery 1 mile. So it's just like, just getting that concept of, okay, we're going out here and we're going to run 15 miles. All right, legs, get it together, get it together. We about to do this. And, and at first, it was just like, it was tough. It was really tough. I had, especially when you introduce yourself to these long miles. And my training plan, there's various training plans you can pick from. My training plan went up to 22 miles. And that's it. That's the far as you go within your training. And then you don't run that 26 until day up. So your body got to know what 22 miles feel like. And it's a matter of your off days coinciding with your training days, to the drills and whatever fartleks and everything else you have to incorporate into that training that your coach throws at you. I mean, Coach Yvel's like, he's a beast. He's a beast.
I want to send Coach Lavelle a shout out, because he is amazing, both getting you prepared mentally and physically. So I just want to send him a shout out as well. And Rochelle, what were some of the challenges that you really faced? Like, did you ever guys ever get injured? Any injuries? How did you recover with that without that being a major setback?
So for me, there was, that's the thing. When you pick a running coach, your coach becomes your mentor, your counselor, your best friend for that whole training program. And you have to be honest with them sometimes, So I was glad, like, Gail, I went to Gail a lot, like, this is what I'm feeling or whatever. And there was a week where I felt a certain pain.
Mhm.
And she had told me, she was like, basically told me I could scale back on my weekly running, because part of the marathon program is you're running easy runs during the week. They might be just maybe 5 or 3 miles, but you're running during the week. So she told me to scale back my running during the week, and then still to do my long run on that Saturday, which I did. And it was like one of those things where you learn how amazing your body is, because I could do it. I'm like, wow.
Well, I'm proud of you and impressed. And what role does nutrition play in preparing? Because I know in physical fitness and when we played sports, I had a carb load to be able to get up and down that basketball court. And even today, when I teach class and I know I'm going a long day, I try to pre-carb load the night before, so I'm ready the next day. So tell me a little bit about, how do you prepare as far as eating, your nutrition? What's it like, Tanya?
So for me, I initially, but prior to starting my training for the Boston Marathon, I initially dropped. Like, I was a high weight of 264 pounds. And over a series of the last 10 to 15 years now, I've been just having fun with my workouts. Like, I just have fun. Like, whatever my results are, I was happy with. So I did one of my cousins had a nutrition thing that she was doing on Facebook. So just to support her, $30, it came with a meal plan, an accountability partner. I'm like, okay, great. I jumped on, let me support her, whatever. I dropped like 30 pounds. Like, what? I mean, just like that. I said, okay. But it becomes, your eating becomes routine. I had to learn how to cut back, no Doritos. So I was disciplined for that time frame. We had weigh-ins every single Sunday, and it was just like, oh, okay. And then once I threw my marathon training in and my running, and then the results just started coming, because the muscle, my six pack, y'all don't see it yet, but my six pack, right? So when I engage that core, it's like, bam, here I go. But it's all there underneath. It was underneath there. So now I'm like starting to define. But it wasn't an overnight thing. I mean, it was just a combination of everything I had already been doing. And then I threw the running in it, and I was disciplined and consistent. That's what it came down to. Disciplined and consistent. And I cooked spinach, scrambled eggs, a half an English muffin with peanut butter. That was my long run breakfast. I had pasta with shrimp the night before every 20 miler. So it became a routine. It's like, you know what you're going to eat the night before, you know what you're going to eat the morning of.
Wow. And what about you, Rochelle? What was your nutrition regimen like?
So, okay. So basically you have to eat to run. So when you think of like a 5K, you don't usually need to fuel for a 5K. So like a typical week for me would be like, okay, I would eat normally Monday and Tuesday, but then at Wednesday, I'm thinking about upping my carbs. So my Gail Henville helped me with my plan. So I would up my carbs starting Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to prepare for my long run on Saturday. And one thing about running, if you're running more than an hour, you really need to make sure you have a fueling source with you. So even on my long runs, I brought fuel with me. So while I'm out there, I'm actually taking in nutrition. And then your long run serves as like a training for your marathon, because you know what intervals you need to take things in, or you need to drink water. And then what happens is you can tweak your plan. So by the time you come to marathon day, you have your nutrition on point and you know what you're going to bring out there with you. I mean, given the fact that the marathon was virtual this year, for most parts, we had to bring our fueling sources with us. But usually I hear, and hopefully 2021, I will get to experience all the fueling stops away on the actual route.
Wow. You said something really key, and I was going to bring that up. The marathon was virtual this year. How did you feel about that? Like, it wasn't how you envisioned it with the water stops, the people at the bottom cheering. I should say lots of people cheering. There were some people running and still people cheering.
Right.
But Katana, tell us a little bit about that. How did you feel? Because it wasn't what you were expecting.
By no means. And I was very fortunate that it wasn't the traditional Boston Marathon because I got highlighted. I was the first pick for the honorary team for the BAA honorary team for the Boston Marathon. I got a total interview off of my charity the charity Rochelle and I ran for. It was just, and then I got to design my own course. I didn't actually run the actual Boston Marathon course. I designed my own course through the city of Boston.
Oh, wow.
So just that whole experience and then putting it all together, I'm like, go Corona.
It worked in your favor.
Yeah, it actually did, because I would have never experienced any of that. And it's just like, wow, I was able to. And I'm also I'm an assistant coach, and I'm an also for a few of the community building organizations. So I got a chance to let the kids that look like me see Coach Tanya did that, and to know that it can be done. Because, I wouldn't have got all of that spotlight if it was the traditional marathon. Absolutely not, So it was a great experience. And now I have a story to tell. And it's like going through that experience, it's like, okay, you know what? Let's do it the right way. Let's do it the traditional way now. Let me see what that experience. So I have something to compare it to.
I also want to say something else to you, because I know you're on a personal level, and your needs. I always admire, and I want to say this to you, that I know your knees bother you, just like anyone else who works out, but you don't let your knees get in the way. Could you talk more about that?
Yes. So I played college basketball, and I graduated class of 1994. I did 2 years community college, and I did 1 D2. I was on scholarship the whole time. So as my scholarships ran out, I never did finish getting my degree. However, I continued to play basketball. So I went into the coaching scene for a little while, and I had a bad fall. We're playing pickup. Somebody threw a pass from half court, and of course I went in the air to catch it and came down. Boom, boom, meniscus gone. Totally blew my meniscus. So I did 6 months of physical therapy, building the tissues, and because I was too young to have a knee replacement. I mean, they went right ahead and said, "Hey, you need a knee replacement." Like, yeah, okay. So they built the tissues around it, everything, strengthened my knee and everything. So I wore a knee brace for almost 10 years. So then I started to say, you know what? I don't want to be dependent upon this. So I started taking my knee brace off on my own, not under doctor's orders. I'm like, you know what? My head is so hard anyway. So I was just like, we're going to try this knee out. So I had built enough strength in my knee to actually maintain. So when I first started my marathon training, I was no longer in it, because I went to a couple of different orthopedics, and I was in a stabilizer as well as a patella. I wore a patella strap and stabilizers on a knee brace, a full knee brace from calf to the quad. Like, it was a real serious knee brace, because my knee is still, on good days, I'm okay. The weather sometimes affects it. Arthritis unsettled, and I'm rolling up on the zero. I'll be 50 soon. So, hey, go ahead. That good black don't crack. I wear my sleeves, and I put my knee brace on when I feel uncomfortable. Like, you know what? This is not going to be a good day. Let me put it on. But I try not to baby it. I said, listen, knee, get it together. I talk to parts of my body. And then come to find out, because of the marathon was pushed back and postponed so many times, I actually ran the 24 miles on April 20th of 2020 for the initial Boston Marathon. My foot was broke.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I just found out in December of 2020 that I actually ran both marathons on a broke foot. Wow. So when you talk about injury and overcoming and just perseverance, and it's like, you know what, foot, get it together, because we're gonna run. And then even after I got diagnosed with a broke foot in December, the second week of December, I still had my virtual Miami half marathon to do. So I'm just like, the foot doctor was like, I don't recommend you run. I'm like, well, I'm already registered for this race. Wow. I'm hard head. So, and Rochelle with Rochelle's coaching, my sister, my BGR sisters, they keep me intact, So I had a marathon already on the books that I had did prior to being diagnosed. I knew my foot was bothering me still, but I'm like, you know what? Let me listen to my sisters. Accountability partners, they come in handy. So
yeah. Now, you said something that I really liked when you were talking about running, and Rochelle, I see you as an inspiration too. But both of you have been inspiring each other.
Yes.
So how does that feel? What kind of synergy or energy do you get from each other that creates that synergy, I should say?
Well, Rochelle ain't no joke.
Yeah. Rochelle's funny and serious at the same time.
I'm sorry. Sometimes but sometimes you need to be reminded that you can do something. So it's just like I've had those moments where, it was just like I needed a reminder. Like, you got this. Don't worry about it. You got it. So we kind of did it for each other.
And Rochelle is the more serious one. I just like to have fun. So so she has to reel me in constantly.
So
I don't mind being a killjoy every now and then.
Rochelle said we got to get back focused. So I want to ask you, who has inspired both of you? And then how will you continue to be an inspiration? Because I don't want you guys to stop running. So Rochelle, you're first. Who has inspired you in your life right now?
Oh God, there are so many people, and I can't say it's just one person, because just running and the people it's exposed me to has changed my ideas of things. Like, my coach, Gail Henville, has really been not just a running coach, but a professional coach. And I'm sorry, I know we're all of African descent, but for me, it was important for me to see a woman coming from the Caribbean who's done so much on the scene of running in Boston. So I was just like, oh, that's possible. I want to be like that. I want to do that. Yes. And she has given us, like, even Black Girls Run. She's given Black Girls Run a platform. She's given us she's left us with a wealth of information, just nutrition and running. So she really has been a blessing.
Yeah, and I'm going to send her a personal shout out, because I've known her for years. And when she used to come to my gym, she and her sister, they both were beasts. I used to have a great time doing step class with both of them. So I just want to also send her a shout out on a personal level. If you're ever thinking about training for a marathon, Yvelle and Gail would be two people that I would definitely reach out to. So could you go ahead and tell us who's been inspiring you, Tanya?
So I would definitely kudos to Coach G. She's an amazing individual. She's like that gem that you would definitely want to be in her circle. And like Rochelle said, this so many, like, we have just the community. Like, since I've been hitting the pavement, I've just been inspired by so many different individuals, adults, and my little babies, right? I mean, when I go to practice, it's like looking in those kids' eyes, and then some of them, they come to practice and it's like, Coach Tanya, my mom, this. I'm just like, come on, let's go for a walk. And to be able to relate, and it's just like, you know what, you need to talk. All right, Coach Tanya. I'm like, and you look into their eyes, and it's like, you know what, this is why. And I have an elderly father that I take care of. I'm a single parent. There's so many avenues and so many hats that I wear, and so many pairs of sneakers that I have to put on at any given time. So it's just, I'm doing it for all of that, And my mom, I lost my mom at age 4. So my mom died with every Black disease you can name what she had. So it's just like, you know what? I'm healthy. 45, rolling up on 46. I am 100% healthy. I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. And I give God praise for that. And it's like, you know what? I don't have a one individual. I mean, everybody has their check mark they put into my life, but no one stands out. They all played a certain role in my life, and I commend them all, and I thank them, from the little ones to the big ones.
Well, I love it. My next question to both of you, and Rochelle, I'll ask you first. Something, what would you tell someone who's thinking about running, who thinks that they want to run the Boston Marathon and or just want to get started and just do a 5K?
Oh, wow. No, there's, so Thaddeus Miles program, Hood Fit, does do a 5K through Demic. So as a beginner program for a new runner, that's a great avenue. I haven't heard about what's going to happen this year because it's still the pandemic. But like couch to 5K programs, I would say if you want to do the marathon, run some smaller races first. 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. Try it out, see if you like it. When you've tried out different distances and you think you still want to continue, then find a coach that is going to work for you. Meaning a coach that will work with you and you can come to and understands your struggle as an individual. So it's possible. There are so many. Boston is known as the running capital of the world. I'm sorry. Oh. I'm going to say it like that. Okay. So there are lots of opportunities and different groups that run the city. So there's a lot of running resources that can be had.
Tanya, then I'm going to ask you, tell me a little bit about Black Girls Run.
Well, that question comes up a lot. Do Black girls run? Of course we do. You know, like, of course. You know,
but like my Black Girls Run girls. So tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, but the space is just known as just such a white space. You know, when you look out there, you don't see people that look like us. You know, you don't see people that look like Black women running. So I got a great experience with that, with my marathon training, because I started really running my neighborhood, and just to see a Black girl run up down Blue Hill Ave is just like, oh. And then, I mean, I got so many looks. It's just like, I just seen you down Dudley. Now you down in Mattapan. Like, yeah, 15-mile run day. Yeah, go figure. But yeah, so Black Girls Run was created created in 2009. And it was according to the CDC, 4 out of 5 Black African American women are overweight. Mm-hmm. So basically, Black Girls Run is put in position to, it's a movement. You know, we're a movement. And we're here to encourage all women, especially Black women. But we wanted you to just practice a healthy lifestyle. And we have we call a Walk Before You Run program that if you're interested in running at whatever distance, you know, we start off with that 5K. Well, just 1 mile. We'll get you off the couch. We'll get you on the pavement. We'll meet you where you are, and we'll get you there, get you to your fitness goal.
I love how you're saying if you're a beginner, we'll help you get started. If you're not a beginner, we'll help you run the marathon and help you accomplish something exciting. So I love that part. My next question I'd like to ask is, how can people join Black Girls Run? Can I find them on Facebook, Instagram? Where can I find them?
So yes, so kudos to Rochelle. Once again, she is one of our run coordinators. I'm one of the co-ambassadors, and she is one of the run coordinators, and she just finalized our Instagram page. So we are now on Instagram. Yep, Black Girls Run Boston on Instagram. That's girls with an S, Black Girls Run Boston. At Black Girls Run Boston on IG, and we're also on Facebook, Black Girls Run Boston.
Okay. So you guys heard it here, how to find Black Girls Run. Rochelle, is there anything you'd like to say in closing? What would be something motivational you'll leave with us?
So now I'm going to piggyback off of Katana. So it's just Black Girls Run is one organization, but it's Black History Month, and I'm going to throw out another set of groups. There's the Pioneers. They're a mixed running group of people of color. We now have Black Men Run Boston. So they're out here. Yes. Right. Peabody Square on Saturdays. Yes. But I mean, you can look them up on Facebook. And then we have another group, Trailblazers. Yes. And that is another Black female running group. And they do they like to interact with different running groups, whether it's around the city or even in different states. But to motivate someone to run, I want to say fitness is a journey. You'll have starts, you'll have stops, and to not give up. If you've stopped, you can always start again. If you need cues, follow people that are doing their thing. Whether it's weightlifting, running, swimming, biking, follow those people on social media, because as reminders to yourself that you can keep going. A stop is not a defeat. A stop is an opportunity to continue.
Now, that was so great. And Tanya, what would you say? Look, Rochelle will make me cry.
Rochelle,
you fitness professional over here like this. I had to take off my glasses. Got me over here like this. Look. On a serious note, that was very inspiring, because we need to hear more of obstacles get in the way.
Yes.
And also, too, you can't achieve something if you're not around people who are moving. And I love how you put that. If you're trying to do this, go find the people who are doing it, because in the process, you'll become educated and you'll become inspired at the same time. But Tanya, I'm not going to steal that from you. What are your words you want to say?
So surround yourself with like-minded people. Being on this #fit journey, it takes those accountability partners. It takes those down days. It takes those days that you don't want to go out and move your body. That's why I constantly do my lives on my page, on BGR's page. Find your why. Find a why. Why are you doing this? If it's just for you, that's great. If it's for someone else, that's great. Find a why. I mean, the pavement, you become one with the pavement. When you go out there and you're right, left, and you out there, you're just like, you know what? Your mind is free. Your mind is free. That fresh air, mask up, but that fresh air, I mean, you know what? As many times as I dreaded going out for those long runs, when I was done, I was like, wow, that was an amazing run. Wow, I don't care what distance. I ran this past Sunday, 7-degree weather. I did a 5K. It was like, you know what? That wasn't so bad. I could go do another one. I didn't do it, but yeah, I thought about it.
But something, I like what you said, because, I walk all the time and people say to me, how do you walk when it's cold? I said, I guess I just never stop loving myself. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to take care of myself, and I walk whether someone's with me or not, because what I also learned is you're not going to always have an audience. Yes. And you guys talked about this too, because I've seen you guys run and be out by yourselves running. Yeah. So to keep yourself together.
But Brandy, you're not really by yourself. Me, myself, and I, all three of us be out there.
I just have to make sure I find y'all so I can wait to you. Well, I want to thank both of you for being on Fit Boston and Beyond. I created this show because eventually I want everybody to be exposed to health and wellness from everyone. And I believe the people in my neighborhood are celebrities. So I'm celebrating the people in my neighborhood that I see every day, so our young people can be inspired when they see them every day. So I want to thank you guys for being on the show. You will forever have a special place in my heart, from personally coming to my gym when I had it, but now seeing you guys take your fitness to another level. So I can only call you marathon runners now. So not everybody can be called a marathon runner. See? That's a, I'm gonna do this. Put them up. Kudos right there. Put them up. Not everyone can hold that up. So when you do something like that, you deserve to be celebrated. I want to thank you for being a community inspiration. Because that's really big. But I really want to thank you for inspiring people in the community. And Rochelle, I want to thank you for getting personal. Because when you just talked about, you opened up the gate. I didn't even get to say background. That you said, I'm going to go. And I let you do that because I like it when people can be real. So I thank you for sharing your real story and saying this. We all can overcome something. And we should be looking to put positive things in our life.
Yes.
So I thank you for putting this positive energy in my life on this Saturday today. I want to wish you guys nothing but BBB 360 magic, because I be trying to throw it all over town. So catch it. And if you're feeling really good, I caught it back. So I think catch it and throw other people love. You guys have a great day. And thank you for being on Fit Boston and Beyond. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
are welcome.